Hey everybody, this is Jenny for acrylicpouring.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to make snap jewelry out of your art. Snap jewelry is interchangeable jewelry that involves two basic parts. You've got a piece of snap jewelry, which is maybe a pendant or a bracelet, and you've got snap buttons that snap in and out of the snap jewelry. So it's a great way to market your art, and I'm going to show you how to make some step by step in this video. I'll start the video by going over the supplies I use to make snap jewelry. Then I'll show you the process, and at the end of the video I'll show you some of the jewelry I've made out of component parts you can get, like bracelet links. Maybe give you some ideas of ways you can create truly unique pieces of jewelry, of snap jewelry. You can do this using acrylic skins, and there are lots of videos out there about how to use acrylic skins to make jewelry, or you can use existing canvases. I have been using canvases because we live in a small house and canvases can get damaged easily. We're not allowed to put holes in the wall, so they're just piling up. So I cut the canvases off of the frame using a utility knife, and you just carefully go all the way around it like this. And eventually you just pull it off. So this is the canvas I'll be working on in this video. This little area has quite a few snap buttons. I think it's got some beautiful iridescence. This is just a great way to repurpose your canvases and to get your art into more people's hands. The supplies I use include a high clarity glass glue called Lily Glaze that you can get on Etsy. I use E6000 glue, and I'll go over how to use all these supplies in the next part of the video. I use a utility knife and a sharp pair of scissors. You'll need to get snap bases that fit glass cabochons. They're usually sold in sets, and they come in different sizes. This is an 18mm snap base that fits a 16mm glass cabochon. This is a snap jewelry display, and I use it to help me keep pieces level when they're drying. I will put the snap bases into the display and then apply, after the canvas is on there, apply the E6000 and then dry them so that they stay flat and level. Finally, don't forget a piece of jewelry to put your new snap buttons into, or component parts to make your own jewelry. Before you start, make sure that your canvas is thoroughly dry. I use old canvases that have been around for a while, but if you're making new ones, let them dry for at least 3 or 4 weeks, because you don't want any moisture between the glass and the canvas, and wet paint evaporates moisture. Second, make sure that all the silicone has been cleaned off the canvas. You can find some great videos on how to do that. I use a Dawn dish soap and some warm water. Once you have a piece of canvas, the first step is identifying the areas that you want to make jewelry, where you want to make jewelry. And there are a lot of areas still here that I like, but I think I'm going to just just to show you how to do it, I'll just put a few right here. You take the glass cabochon, make sure there's no big thumbprint right there. Clean it off. Put a little drop of glue. That should be plenty. And then press it over an area that you find interesting. Get it centered. And there may be some air bubbles down there, so I press it down and kind of wiggle it just a little, and that squeezes the air bubbles out the side. Hold it for a couple of seconds so that it gets a good bond. And then leave it alone. I'll do a few more. So now that these are glued down, I'll let this dry for 2 or 3 days just to make sure there's a nice solid bond between the glass and the canvas. The next step is cutting these glass pieces off the canvas. Now this has been dried for almost a week. I want it to be dry because if it's not, the glue can become loose and air bubbles can get between the canvas and the glass, and you don't want that. So you just start cutting them out, and I use scissors to do this. It's very easy. You just cut around it. So you can get pretty close with these scissors. I can cut them at an angle in and even cut off some of the glue that's on the side. So there, that's nicely trimmed around. There is some glue along the sides though, and so to finish cleaning it up, and if you do this, be very careful. Your hands are important. But to get this last bit of glue off, I kind of whittle it with this utility knife. Just go around and remove that glue. So that's pretty clean. The last step is gluing this canvas and glass into the snap base. And it just takes a little bit of glue. I kind of smear it around the outside, not too much. And then you see there's a hole right there in the middle. That's why I don't just put a glob of glue just in the middle. So, like I said, I like to snap the things in first, and then, oops, you have to get the right size. This is a 18mm piece of glass that fits into a 20mm snap button. And the same thing, I kind of press it for 2 or 3 seconds, make sure it's centered in the circle, and then leave it alone. Another thing I like to do when making snap jewelry is center the glass cabochon over areas that have really pretty iridescence. Love iridescence. So if you start making snap buttons and plan to sell them, be sure to stock up on things to put them in. You can get these all day long on Etsy. All kinds of jewelry that's pre-made and inexpensive. Here's some cufflinks, some pretty pendants and necklaces, ID badge holders. And you can also make original pieces with some of the components you can purchase. So you can purchase links and make bracelets, or here's I made a pendant with just some oval jump rings and a teardrop thing. Once I had this, I was able to make that really easily. And you can also combine it with beaded necklaces. I made this necklace and then just attached some jump rings and attached a pendant. I made this bracelet. Again, having the component parts to just link things up. You know, the possibilities are endless. I was pretty excited yesterday. I went to a thrift store and got this very pretty hematite and freshwater pearl necklace, and I think it was on 75% off, so I got it for just a few bucks. It's very pretty. And so I added a jump ring right in the middle, and I'll attach some kind of pendant to it and give this necklace some new life. So that's it. It's pretty easy. Hopefully you've learned something new. I know I hadn't heard of snap jewelry until I took my pendants to work, and my genius friend Tess said, "Jenny, you got to make snap jewelry." Now I'm covered in mountains of snap jewelry. So it's a lot of fun. It's very marketable, and it's a great way to make your art accessible to more people. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody who might be interested, and be sure to subscribe to acrylicpouring.com. This is Jenny. Thanks for having me. See you next time. As Debbie Coles would say,